The government of the Republic of South Africa identified what government recognized as a problem. This came in the form of illegal mining, in other words, mining, but by people who do not necessarily have licenses to mine, mining by people, in the majority of cases, who come from outside South Africa illegally. In other words, by people who are not supposed to be in South Africa. But in one way or the other, they find themselves in South Africa, and once in South Africa, they then identify certain areas in our country, in certain provinces, that there are some mines in that country, in those parts of the country, and they simply went there to mine. So, two things that were unlawful happening now. You are unlawfully inside the country, South Africa. Two, you then engage in an unlawful activity of mining without a license. Now, this was identified in 7 provinces, not one province. It was identified in Gauteng, in Northwest, in the Free State, Limpopo, Mpumalanga, KZN, which one is the last one that I'm leaving? Northern Cape, yes, Northern Cape. So 7 out of 9 provinces. That there is coexistence of the two problems of people coming from outside the country without any permit, without any papers, and they become unlawful immigrants in the country, and then they engage in unlawful activity in the form of unlawful mining or illegal mining. Then the South African government decided that because this is unlawful, like all other unlawful activities in the country, government must act. And in this instance, government decided that there should be a program to stop this unlawfulness, and that program will be called Umgodi, as they called it. Now, I must expand here to say other countries like Botswana, north of us, at one point they identified this problem. There could be another country or other countries which identified this problem happening in their country in one form or the other, but we're not the only country that has experienced this. And when we ask questions to the to joints, to net joints, that is the combined departments that are working together. Why did you engage Mozambicans? Why did they show us figures? And each time they make a presentation, they tell us how many Zimbabweans, including when there was a process of people getting out from underground. They, without failure, including today, they will tell us, out of the 3 people that got out today, there are so many Zimbabweans, there are so many Lesothos or Basutos, there are so many Mozambicans, and there are so many Malawians. Figures. And I must indicate, the biggest number come from Zimbabwe and Mozambique, which is not a province in South Africa. It is not a district. It is not a local municipality. These are two countries outside South Africa. They are our neighbors. The majority of these people, each time they report, are Zimbabweans and Mozambicans, and then Malawians and Lesothos, without any fail. The number in the bottom all the time is South Africans, all the time without failure. And they add that the South Africans that are here are not necessarily South Africans from around Stilfontein in the main. They are from somewhere else in the country. So, government, through the people that have been authorized by government to implement Operation Umgodi, which is different departments are saying to us, President, they are saying, ministers, please mind it that you are dealing with Zimbabweans here, but not just Zimbabweans. You are dealing with Mozambicans. You are dealing with Malawians. You are dealing with Basotho. Therefore, we are interacting with them to say, are you aware, as various governments, that you have so many people that are in South Africa illegally, coming from your countries, that are now engaging in illegal and unlawful activities? Are you aware of that? And they are saying they are aware. Now, therefore, we are here so that we say together here, because we have not invited any Zimbabwean here. No Malawi, no Mozambican, no Lesotho. It's us here. Not even from the whole of the Republic of South Africa, but us here, to say, are we aware that the majority of people who are coming out from underground are not us? Are we aware of that? The figures that we have, the facts, basic facts, so that when you speak here, please be on facts and not ignore facts that the majority of the people who are coming out, even though there are South Africans, because I don't want to lie, South Africans are involved, but the majority, overwhelming majority, are people from outside. Are we aware of that? And what do we say about that?
And I must also say to you that your speech again is also disappointing at under level. What is it? You see, I mean, you're from the ANC, you would have been a revolutionary at some point. I must say to you, if only you had to, where you say migrants, I put black, where you say migrants, I put Palestinians, you realize how similar. That is a speech worthy of a ministers of apartheid regime, of ministers of the Zionists in Israel, and all of those things and so on. Because you have not addressed the issues, right? All that you have emphasized again and again and again, they are Zimbabweans, they are Mozambicans. And I may very well ask, what conclusion do you draw from that? Do you draw a conclusion from that that they are less human? They are less deserving of life? What conclusion do you draw from that? But let's just say, so are you saying if there were South Africans, were you going to continue to allow the situation of the conditions in which they are working, right? So I'm just saying that we came to this meeting with expectations that we're going to address the issue. What is the issue here? There are people trapped underground, and I want to emphasize that, underground, and you are promoting false narratives that is almost as if those people can simply jump 3 kilometers from under the belly of the earth without any assistance. The way you are addressing, you are speaking to people in media here, knowing that people all over are ignorant of what is actually happening in shaft 11 where we are located, right? You are speaking as if people can simply stroll, as if it's a stroll in the park, from shaft 11 to 10, when everyone who made that journey tells you that they have had to crawl, right? They have had to crawl for 7 days underground in treacherous tunnels that are flooded, and that journey can only be taken by those that are strong enough, and certainly not many who are emaciated, dehydrated, and physically weakened by lack of medication. I thought this meeting would be where we discuss and say, how do we return the loved ones of all these people that you are mocking, that all of this disaster is happening because people are in romantic relationships with people in Mozambique and all those things and so on, right? I mean, really, that language is not only sexist, by the way, but it's problematic at many levels. Reality is that the devastating levels of unemployment and poverty that has reached horrific levels of starvation and hunger, right, has created a siege condition for many of these people who are sending people down in a life-threatening condition to eke out a living because of the poverty that you have presided over for 30 years.
What we are saying, our main objective, let's rescue those people, regardless of their nationality. Ukuthi umuntu usuka phi kophi umhlaba ngumuntu uzelwe njengam nawe sizelwe singabantu. Yabo. Masiyenzeni ngendlela right, but now minister ingxaki yaminye ngumxhosa mina. Hawuzubuza thina government ukuthi sibasindisa njani abantu abaya. Ngoba nangoku le ndawo ohleli kuyo, where we are sitting, we don't know if ever there are still lives. I've just heard you speaking about 3 people. And police, they must stop this thing that they are doing. Mr. Minister, we've rescued 11 people and we rescued 1 body. We resurfaced 1 body. Out of that 11, there was never a live interview that was done by people from the media to tell the country what was happening. But those ones that they resurfaced at night, they call media around 11 o'clock to tell those people what they must say in the media. We are not defending anyone here. What we are doing here, we are fighting for the souls, those souls that are underneath, those souls that are trapped. There have been many speculations, they are not trapped people. How can you come and bring the rescue team while they are not trapped people? People are trapped, people are dying on daily basis. Under your watch, Mzukisi Mchunu. Because mark my words, tomorrow, whenever there's been a probe or a commission in this country, it will be under your watch as the Minister of Police. We respect the police, we respect their work. Criminals must belong to jail. But please, let's save those lives, Mr. Minister.
No, that's why we've just pointed out that there's a third method. We said it's the rope, is the specialized rescue plan, but we then said there are other people who can walk out because there are people who have walked out. It's a fact. So let's be factual. That's the problem, because we're going to have a problem if I speak with an aim of blaming you. Win the argument. I don't want to win the argument. I'm not here for that. I'm here to take blame, to take criticism as well. So don't avoid saying there are people who have come out of Margaret.
I can get to that.
So that we share that as a fact. That's number one. There are people, more than 30, according to the report. Let me also correct you. Don't continue saying unless you like it. We are not discriminating against any foreign national. We have not said we prefer that we take out only South Africans and not Mozambicans and so on. We're making facts that there are people from Zimbabwe, there are people from, I didn't say we don't care about those, we just want, but the last thing that I want to say is that you are free to continue to criticize us and so on, but at the end we just want what is going to work. So far, there are three. He didn't add any fourth method of getting people out. There are three that have been put on the table, and we've said we're fine with that, but we'll talk about them. So is there any other fourth?
Why are we here, and why do you get Mozambicans, Zimbabweans, Lesotho resurfacing underground more than the people of South Africa or the people of Stilfontein? Why? It is important that you must know why. Because these officials and your colleagues, they are misleading you, including Umurweng, they are misleading you because, Minister, you came here last time and we said to you, Immigrant did not just appear in the picture. On the 21st October, that was our first meeting with the authorities, 21 of October. Siku November now. So what happened, we went to the authorities and we said, there is this problem. And I'm happy you mentioned it. We don't have a problem with Operation Valamkot. And you mentioned it, there's two elements that you did when you were implementing. You failed to consult and see, solutions to work on eradicating poverty and unemployment. You mentioned that. But I want to add the third one. You failed as you were planning or implementing to see to it, how would we deal with an issue of human rights, of protecting the Constitution of South Africa, of a right to human dignity and a right to life. The plan did not have that. Hence we are stuck here. Hence you are asking us that how are we going to rescue them? So it means that plan also failed in that aspect. That's number one. Number two, when we spoke to them, we had about 4 to 5 to 6 meetings with all the stakeholders. Minister, issue as a migrant, isuka to that committee. So there was a committee. So when you ask me about Margaret, I'm like, Minister, because this is what we did. That's when we got all these numbers. We did flyers that were thrown in the holes to make sure we are rescuing people. Then later on, we discovered that the dynamics of these shafts are not the same. Hence, we went to shaft 11. We were very saddened by you coming there, even a showboat in Jenomwe, when you just went there, without even at least standing there to have the feel and essence of what is happening here. So we did that. Now, fast forward, in your meeting last time, you were very progressive, I must say, and we welcomed that. You formed a committee that must see to it that the rescue team will be employed and will facilitate the better way of assisting these people to come out. Nontombeko was the chair of that committee. And as the community, we are here. We wouldn't have been here if that committee was effective, was working. You would not see all these people. We want to say Umurweng failed the course that you set. Why are we here? It's because the reason we are here, it's because, and I'm disappointed, Nambaba, whose speech, because if you have left a committee, and you know you have left a committee, the first briefing that you want to hear is from that committee. So you came here, food, the program, Umgodi will give a report. Says it report. Now, in the previous meeting, I'm quoting you, normally, we want to be here for a week. It did not happen. Umgodi said, Monday, phase 1 is gone, second phase is gone. Monday, we are starting to rescue people. We are in Friday today. No one is out at number 11. Now, I, for one, am under the impression, good, for us to get a way forward. We thought you'll stand here and wait for the report, Egamre, and after that and say, we are winning here as a department, as government, we are failing here. How do we assist each other? Millions and millions are being spent by this government for that rescue. For this government not to give us a report on that, I find it discouraging. It's disturbing, and it's actually disrespecting from the chairperson that you left to. He's ignoring us, he's not speaking to us, he has his committee. So I'm saying for us to go forward, Baugas, the first one, Margaret, we agreed ngayo, yokuqala. Ungasibuzi ngayo, sise ngayo izangangani. Eyesibini, yile rope. It's happening, and we appreciate abantu abaphumayo at shaft 10. But Minister, common sense, if you say apply as I'm about to close. Somebody said at 10, was at 10 good what they are using our gators. And those gators, they said it's 1,200. Now one journalist asked me, there were people that came out and they ran back. Does it make sense? It does not. There's no common sense on it. If that happened, and they must say the police, if that happened, people came out and they ran back, they must say in which shaft. Because at shaft Margaret, when that cache open, police are here. They need to press that thing to go back. So these things, they need to report them. Some journalists asked me, there's one who came with a letter to his wife, and then he ran back. So would you try to lift yourself 1,200 or 1,400? Uye phezulu baba xa uphuma ukhupha ilethe umfazi ubaleke uyo hayibo make kudlalwa ngathi. So we are saying baba, that committee, please, if you can resuscitate it, you would then get a progressive report on it.
Another thing, Minister, that is really disturbing, the reports that are coming from your people, your SAPS, lacks integrity. It has no integrity because it lacks truth in it. At some point we were told that there are no people underground, which I asked when we were busy pulling those people using a rope, if perhaps the SAPS colleagues have, they see things differently. Because as we were seeing people, as we were pulling people out, they kept on saying there were no people there. Now, which made me wonder if whether, as we were seeing human beings coming out, they were seeing rocks. So our plea, Minister, has been very simple. We have never been complicated as SANCO, and we never tried to complicate matters. We simply requested, and we are still appealing to your good self, that we instruct those people. We save as many lives as we can. We put them to the surface. Then whatever happens thereafter, we're not going to stand on the way. But it's really heartbreaking to see an old, a grown man sitting here next to you and crying. Seeing a man who is going through what we all do not know. Because as we are sitting here, we have no idea of how the situation is down there. Now we sit with a man who's crying, who's explaining to you as to why he has been doing this thing. Which goes back to what we've been saying to you, Minister, to say, but we must look at this thing thoroughly because there are also contributory factors which we seem to be ignoring. And one of those contributory factors is the fact that the rate of unemployment is at its peak. The rate of poverty is alarming and it's scary. Now we can't have a situation where people who used to mine, who used to work in these mines, and who know that if they go down there, they will find something. They will, you expect them to be dying, sleeping on their couches when they have children to take care of.
The government that we know, it is the government of the people. That's what we expect from the government. We expect the government who is the government of the people. Who, when they see crisis, they immediately respond. But also, it's a government who respects the right to life. And when we say this, we say it with no fear or any fear of contradictions when we say elements of xenophobics are there, we can see them. That is why we say as SAFTU, one, you are going to have many operations, Vala this, Vala this, Vala this. As long as you don't know, your first operation is to make sure that everyone that comes into the country is a documented citizen in the country. Because the problem that you are having, you are a government that does not want to take responsibility. You must take responsibility as to, if you are saying the country is full of undocumented foreign nationals, what happened? So that should be your first operation.
All the other matters of the borders, leave those with us. Borders in South Africa are being managed, but it's not adequate because the people, the neighboring countries, I'm telling you, we can go there and man, they break the fences, they go through at night, they bribe, they do all sorts of things, but we're looking at that. Government is attending to that. So finally, when we come back, whenever we come back, so we need to, even before we come back, after your first meeting, especially, not this one, especially the larger one with the army and the subs and the rescuers, after that meeting, we need to see people getting out, ropes being used. We need to see rescue methods of the rescuers operating.